Sleep is the best thing you can do, and it's the most basic thing, but still people don't really do it. If you think of your life in like different areas, like you have the gym, you have school, you have doing your side hustle, you know, sleep is going to massively affect those, either positively or negatively, depending on how much you sleep. So if you're constantly sleep deprived, you'll slowly just go down and just stay at the bottom. And the reason for that is what we're going to talk about in this video. Now, if you don't know me already, I make self-improvement content, so if you're interested in that, you know what to do. The number one benefit that sleep does is enable hard work. It's going to make it easier for you to do the hard work. You know, we all know this feeling when you're going to the gym, sleep deprived. You'll be able to lift less weight, you'll be able to do fewer reps, and every rep is just going to be more painful. Now, you can translate this directly into like doing the other hard things, like doing your work, reading, stuff like that. It's just going to make it so much harder, and it's just going to make you less efficient as well. Because the way your brain works, it constantly wants to, you know, conserve energy. So if you're in sleep deprivation, put your brain in this state where it says, okay, I need to save energy. So instead of doing things that, you know, requires a lot of energy, like going to the gym, it would much rather just, you know, stay in bed, watch TikTok, and eat shitty food. So another very important area that sleep affects is social interactions. If you're very sleep deprived, number one, you don't want to, you know, talk to people. Number two, you get very irritated, and you're not going to be very enjoyable to talk with. And number three, it just gives you like more anxiety and depression, because you're like in a off state. Like you don't really feel comfortable when you're sleep deprived most of the time. You just feel like, oh, I'm gonna survive this, and then I'm gonna, you know, go home and relax, right? So, you know, it's gonna help all your social interactions. So you need to get more sleep in order to get more social interactions. And if you're better at social interactions, you're also going to get more girls. So the next thing being well rested does is it cuts out distractions for you, and it saves you a lot of time. So if you think you don't have time to sleep 8 hours every day, that's probably because, you know, the things you do, you know, throughout the day, sleep deprived, is just going to take you longer time. Because number one, you're going to perform worse. Number two, you're going to be distracted. Like your brain would much rather go on social media and, you know, eat junk food rather than doing the work. And the reason for that is because you're sleep deprived. And, you know, if you were well rested throughout the day, it's going to be easier to just sit down for 1 hour, do the hard work, get it done, and then you'll actually have more time at the end of the day to sleep. Now, the number four benefit is better physical appearance. Like there's so many things when it comes to this, so I'm just gonna list a few of them. You know, the number one thing that sleep does is going to increase cortisol, which is not very good for your testosterone levels. So that gives you less muscle, less facial hair, you know, less like masculine traits. And then the number two thing is also sleep is going to give you more acne. It's only going to give you like the redheads. And also like your face posture and stuff like that will also just be like more ugly, because, you know, if you're sleep deprived, you're more likely to just keep your mouth open and like mouth breathe, and that's gonna make your jawline worse. So, you know, not sleeping will, you know, just make you uglier, if that makes sense. I'll even, you know, maybe my editor will put a photo up on screen on like a guy who's very sleep deprived and a guy who's very well rested, and you guys can see the difference. Now, the fifth benefit you're probably neglecting right now is, you know, health stuff. Like, you know, sleeping more is just gonna reduce the chances of you having anxiety, getting like, you know, diseases like cancer and stuff like that. You know, other things that just, you know, you probably don't think about them too much right now, because, you know what you have, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, you don't know how terrible it would be for you to get like a health issue. So sleeping more is going to reduce those chances. Now I'm going to give you some tips on how to sleep more. Now, the number one thing I want you to do, and I want you to do this right now, I want you to go ahead, pause this video, I want you to go on your phone and download the app Sleep Cycle. The way that app works is like, you know, you put it beside your bed and it functions as your alarm clock, so it's gonna wake you up. But while you're sleeping, it's gonna listen to your breath, and it's gonna know, you know, when are you asleep and when are you trying to sleep. Because a lot of people think, okay, if I go to bed at 11 p.m. and wake up at 7, I'm gonna get 8 hours of sleep, right? Because, you know, there's 8 hour difference. But in reality, you're probably only getting like 6 or 5 hours, because, you know, it takes some time to fall asleep. You wake up throughout the night, you have to go to the toilet and stuff like that. So, you know, the way that app works is just gonna give you a graph where you're asleep or where you're not. I'm gonna put a picture up on screen. so you can see, but I want you to go ahead and download that app right now. The number 2 thing I want you to do is start reading before bed, because there's nothing more relaxing than reading before bed. You know, you're shutting off audio, you know, you should be reading without music. Also shutting out the blue light, which is also going to, you know, wake you up. So those things is already going to tell your brain, okay, we're slowly going into sleep. So it's, you know, it's gonna start producing melanin, and you'll feel more tired when you actually go to bed. So I usually not sleep 2 hours, but I read 2 hours before bed every day, and it just makes me fall like asleep so much quicker, and it's also more relaxing when I sleep. So I recommend start reading before bed. If you don't read already, you should do it. It grants you so much knowledge, and it also gives you amazing focus. The number 3 tip that I want to give you is start meditating, and specifically I want you to start body scan meditation. If you haven't already, I want you to go ahead and download an app called Medito. It's a free meditation app, and in that app I want you to go and find, you know, the body scans, and next time you go in your bed you're going to do a body scan meditation. The way it works is just makes you feel all your muscles. So, you know, usually it starts in your toes, and then it moves up to your calves and then thighs. It's just very relaxing to, like, you know, focus on your muscles and just slowly like make them fall asleep, if that makes sense. Another meditation I want you to do is a Assassin meditation, and that one focuses more on your breath. So, you know, when you lay in bed, you can meditate in bed if you want, but you can also do it throughout the day. I recommend do it throughout the day. But if you're going to do it in bed, you can also do Assassin meditation. So often when we're in bed and trying to sleep, you know, we get all these thoughts popping off, and it's gonna make it very hard to sleep. So I just recommend, you know, Assassin meditate in bed, because that just makes you focus on your breath instead of all these thoughts. Now the 4th and last tip I'm gonna give you is a shutdown ritual. I want you to go ahead and grab a journal, and, you know, before bed you're just gonna write down all the things you need to remember for the next day. And then when you're in bed, right, and you get all these thoughts, I just want you to go ahead and write them down, and then forget about them, because then you don't need to stress about, you know, remembering the thoughts and remembering the things you have to do the next day, because you've already written them down, and that makes your brain more relaxed. So you need to read, and you need to meditate, and you need to journal, and then you should be pretty tired. Another thing that could help you is, you know, sleeping with the windows open, because you get more oxygen. And, you know, sleeping with like a cooler temperature is also gonna make you more tired. But yeah, that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed.